It was a long time ago when I first started working in the subway. I worked as an operator at the train station, which was located in the very center of the city. This station was very popular among tourists, and therefore it was always crowded. One day I heard about strange incidents that happened at the station. Many people complained that they saw some strange person who followed them and tried to approach them, but when they turned to look at him, he disappeared like smoke. I didn't attach much importance to it because I thought it was just rumors and nothing serious was happening. But one day when I was working at night, I saw this strange man. He was tall and thin, with long black hair and frightening eyes. He was wearing a black jacket and dark jeans. I felt uncomfortable, but decided not to pay attention to him and continued my work. But after a few minutes, I noticed that he began to approach me. I felt that something was wrong and decided to call for help. When I picked up the phone and called security, he was already very close to me. I could hear him whispering something in my ear, but I couldn't make out the words. I felt a strong fear and decided to retreat. Only then did I realize that this man was an invisible ghost. The station where I work was built on the site of an old cemetery, and many years ago there was a mass murder, as a result of which many people were buried in the ground. Since then, some people have claimed that a ghost appears at this station, which brings death and fear. I only found out about it after it happened to me. Since then, I no longer work at this station, and I no longer want to remind you of what happened that day. It was the scariest day of my life, and I will never forget it. I rushed to the exit, but the ghost continued to haunt me. I quickly realized that my only salvation was to find shelter. I noticed an old subway car next to the platform, which had not been used for a long time, and I decided to hide inside. I quickly went inside, closed the doors and locked them. It was dark and cold inside. I heard the ghost moan as I was closing the carriage. Then I felt something pressing down on me like a thick fog, and I began to suffocate. My heart was beating so hard that I could feel it jumping out of my chest. I was sure I was going to die, but then I heard someone start breaking down the car door. It turned out that it was my colleagues from the security service who saved me. They broke the lock and dragged me out of the carriage when the ghost disappeared. After that, I no longer worked at this station, and my colleagues sympathized with what happened and did not allow it to happen to anyone else. But I will always remember that terrible day when I first met a ghost. I will never forget how he tried to grab me and I ran for my life. Now I know that invisibles exist in real life, and they can be very dangerous. After this incident, I could no longer work at this station. I was too scared and worried every time I had to pass through the section of the platform. But my problems didn't end there. I began to have strange dreams in which I found myself at the same station, but I was already fighting the invisible myself. In my dream, I fought for my life, but I often lost. I thought that my imagination was playing tricks on me and decided to turn to local psychics. They said that this ghost haunts me and I need to expel it. I followed their advice and went to the local priest. He performed a cleansing ritual, but after that my dreams got even worse. I realized that only I myself can find a way to get rid of these nightmares. I started researching everything I could find about ghosts and invisibles. I have read several dozen books, watched many movies, and even visited several terrible places where paranormal phenomena occurred. I realized that ghosts are afraid of light and sound, so I started carrying crystals that emit light and playing loud music on my player. To my surprise, it worked. When I started using these methods, my nightmares stopped, and I no longer saw this wild invisible creature. Since then, I have been constantly carrying crystals with me and have become convinced that music is the best way to scare away invisible people. I moved to another city and changed jobs, but I still remember how one day ghosts threw me into such horror.